Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos of the paid request this time for Travis. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Travis wanted me to look at the film Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker. Came out in 1981. Now, I did have a different title, which was Night Warning. But, I mean, which is a better title? Night Warning, which, I don't know, that could be like, be careful of swimming out at night. It's night warning, whatever. Public service announcement, don't swim at night. Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker has more of a ring to it. Like, okay, what's this about? It's directed by a guy named William Asher that he did a lot of old TV work, like I Love Lucy. So it's kind of funny that a guy who worked on I Love Lucy episodes did this film, which has some crazy stuff in it. Now, the gist of the plot is you have this kid named Billy. He's living with his aunt, played by Susan Tyrrell. And Susan Tyrrell, I believe she was in the first Angel movie and maybe the second one. I do like her as an actress. I thought she was easily the best part of the movie. Just she sells crazy very well. Like, she seems nice and sweet, but then she'll be like talking to a picture in an attic or whatever, and be talking to herself, and she seems just generally believing what she's saying, what her course of action is, and she is definitely not sleepwalking through it. At the same time, I wouldn't say it's over the top in a goofy, cringe fashion either. It's a tightrope that she plays fairly well. But anyway, the reason Billy's living with the aunt character is because his parents died in a car accident where their car had no brakes. And the car accident, they actually did a pretty decent job directing this scene. It reminded me a little bit of Final Destination 2, where a log comes off and goes through the driver side of the window. Like Final Destination 2. Right at the guy's head. I'm like, ooh, shit. This is one thing, like, okay, a trip in a car just falls off and there's an explosion. No, they went the bit of extra mile on that. So I give credit to that. Wouldn't be the easiest thing to film. So it's years later. Billy is doing well at school, basketball player. He's friends with this coach named Tom. And there's this guy who's a fellow basketball player who he doesn't like that Billy may want to go out with this girl. And the fellow basketball player, kind of I was almost say that the Billy Zabka of the movie, is Bill Paxton. I did not know Bill Paxton was in this film. So when I started watching, I go, is that who the hell I think it is? Oh, it's the Pats. I love Bill Paxton. I miss Bill Paxton. Aliens as Hudson, Twister, Frailty, just the True Lies, Near Dark. Like I said, always been a fan of Bill Paxton. Always enjoyed him in films. Predator 2, of course, one of my favorites. So it was cool to see him in this. His character kind of disappears by the middle of the film. So he doesn't really have much to do. But it was still nice to see him in there. So the movie's a good chunk of Billy and his aunt and their kind of relationship to each other, where they argue over the scholarship and she doesn't want him to move to, I think it's Denver. But then she's like, okay, you could do it. One thing leads to another. Spoiler. Let me spoil again. And there's this TV repairman she tries to hook up with. He wants nothing to do with her, and I don't blame him for doing this, because no disrespect to Susan, I wouldn't want anything to do with her either. And she gets pissy about that and stabs the guy. The kid sees the teen sees this, and she says, "Oh, he tried to assault me. He tried to R to the A to the P to the E." Cops come, and like I said, she's good at being a psycho and then turning it off. She's good at that. Another great aspect is the cop, Bo Svenson. He was the guy who, I think he was in the Walking Tall sequels, who took over for Joe Don Baker. He was in this film I like called no, that's someone, Deep Space. That's what it was. With Charles Napier, who was Murdoch from Rambo 2. Deep Space has a lot of flaws, but I do like it because at the end of the day, your hero cuts an alien's head off with a chainsaw. Sometimes it's the small things that make you enjoy a film. But I do like Charles Napier. I like Bo Svenson. He plays another cop in that. And he's been in other stuff too. Good actor. Plays a great, just complete, prickish, volatile, angry, prejudiced cop. You might as well say he's the other bad guy in the movie. The other villain in the movie, I should say. And just a lady's like, "Hey, why you leave her alone? You talking to me? Well, don't." Makes her shut up. And he's very prejudiced, especially against homosexual people. Because what happens is, and I thought this was kind of an interesting bit of the story, is the reason the guy, well, one of the reasons why the guy didn't want to go with Susan, the repairman, is he was in a relationship with the coach, Coach Tom, who happens to be gay. And what's nice about it is they don't, like, the guy's gay, but that's it. He's not a pervert. He's not a weirdo. He's not sick. He's not ogling guys in school. He's just a guy doing his job as a coach. He is supportive to Billy, kind of like a nice little father figure. I kind of wish there were more scenes between Billy and Coach Tom as like a father-son way. So I wish we saw a bit more of Coach Tom. But he pretty much is forced to resign because of the prejudices and his secret being found out. And I thought Coach Tom would be a lot more angry about what's going on, because if the guy killed was Coach Tom's lover, I'm thinking, why is he not more angry, more upset, more like, what happened to this guy? I was in love with him, you know. Instead, like, he goes to the cops and says, "Hey, there's some info you need to know." And then Bo Svenson doesn't want anything to do with him because Bo doesn't like the gays. In fact, he starts pontificating that maybe Billy is gay, and I bet you and that guy were lovers, and you were spurned by him, and a lover's quarrel, and you killed him, and you took your aunt's taking the fall. And he mocks him with, "Oh, you basketball? Your wrist, keep it limp? That shouldn't be too difficult." Bo Svenson plays such a prejudiced scumbag prick, but he does a really good job with it. So it's always interesting to see him on screen. Him and Susan Tyrrell. The lead guy, Billy, is fine. I would say he's awkward, but at the same time, the movie kind of calls for that because of his... Like, he seems to act younger than he should for his age. Like, he's a high schooler, but sometimes he acts younger. I don't know, there's certain moments, but I think that's done on purpose. I would like to believe so. And I will say it does make him feel a bit more innocent, so I feel a bit more sorry and sympathy for the guy. There's a little bit of love story between him and this girl, which is fine. Like, the girl, she does a fine enough job. They have a little bit of hanky-panky, and the aunt gets pissed about that. And like I said, Susan Tyrrell, like you see her talking this picture, saying stuff like he'll never leave us. She starts drugging the kid's milk. And like I said, it's the performances. The story is interesting enough to keep me intrigued. It's not a big body count film. There's a little bit of gore, but nothing crazy like a Friday the 13th film. I was fine with the lead couple, the Billy and the girlfriend. Some people may go, oh, I'm not sure about these actors, but I was fine with them. The secret, you find out that the aunt is not his aunt, it's actually his mom. And this picture was actually a picture of his dad. And the parents' tale at the beginning was actually Susan's brother, Susan's sister and husband. And they took Billy because of how screwed up Susan was. And there's a bit of incestual desire from the mom wanting her son. Because there's this bit which, like, ew. He keeps drugging the teen, and then she, like, this quick shot where she, like, licks the milk off his neck. I'm like, ew. Like, that was more disgusting than the blood in the movie. And then there's, like, this nosy neighbor, and she gets cut in the stomach. So that's a little bit of blood. There's a cop that gets it in the neck. Well, his hand gets cut off, and he gets a bit in the throat. I recognize that cop. It's a cop that thinks Billy is innocent. I'm like, where does this cop remind me of? Like, oh shit. It was the boss of the toy store in Silent Night Deadly Night, the first one. I'm like, I knew he looked familiar. Okay. And like I said, while the pacing at times drags a little bit, because I'm kind of, you're waiting for the next thing to drop. And I would say after the first or second time Bo Svenson visits Billy, you're kind of just waiting for things to catch up, where it's Billy looking at the attic, Billy looking at this, Billy with the girl, and you're kind of like, okay. You're kind of just twiddling your thumbs a little bit, waiting for something to happen. And like Bill Paxton, his character, unless I completely blanked out, if so, I apologize, it's my fault. He just disappears. There's one bit he gets in a fight with Billy, they're rolling around, and then you never really see Bill Paxton again. I thought, okay, well that's strange. That either him get killed off or something else happens. But I thought there was something more leading with that character. Plus I wanted to see more of Bill Paxton, but no, he just kind of gets dropped. But overall, I would say I liked it because I thought the actors did a pretty good job. The story had enough elements to keep me intrigued to see where it was leading up to. The finale of the film. The lead guy's girlfriend, man, she didn't take punishment. She must have like adamantium head, because she just hit in the head earlier with like a meat tenderizer thing. Then when she gets chased by Susan, she hits the girl like 8 times with a damn rock. But then the girl still survives. I'm like, man, I wish I had a head like yours. Now, can you give me some head? No. But it just... So that was a bit hard to believe. I mean, I'm sure it happens, of course. Of course. But, I don't know. I wish the girlfriend, she was able to fight off a bit more. Or maybe, like, she's fighting it off, but she fell. And then Susan just believes she's dead. Or she disappeared and she thinks she's dead, but she grabbed onto something and she's sneaking up and climbing up. Like something like that. Than just her in this thing of water. I'm like, come on, okay. After the second hit on the head with a rock, you're dead. This isn't WWF where you get hit with a sledgehammer from Triple H and you're perfectly fine the next day. Come on now. But again, there's some gore at the end. Well, I say some blood at the end. When the Billy's having to fight his mom and has to impale her. Decent effect. The way Susan behaves psycho with her face and her movements, you really buy her as a damn psychopath. So she did a nice job with that. I wish there was more to the Coach Tom character where he was more part of the finale, protecting Billy, something of that nature. Pretty much there's a phone call he makes and Coach Tom gets there. Bo Svenson gets there. Bo tries to shoot Billy because he still doesn't want to believe the truth. He still thinks Billy's the killer because his prejudice. So Coach Tom gets the gun out of the guy's hands. Billy gets the gun, shoots. Nice squibs. Kills Bo. And you get this ending where the girlfriend hugs Billy. I thought the actor did a good job because he has this completely lost look on his face that you buy because he had to kill his... He found out this girl was his mom, had to kill her, he had to shoot a guy. There's a lot to take in for one day, one night. And, like, the terror stays on him and a tear comes down. It's not the easiest thing to do. So it made me feel the sympathy for the character. I thought that was nicely done. And then there's text saying that temporary insanity, he's fine, and all that stuff. So I actually kind of appreciate they give that bit of text. They give a little bit of closure to the characters, because they don't always do that. But overall, I mean, it's not a film I probably watch a whole lot. I know, was it 7 films? It did get a Blu-ray. I probably wouldn't have picked it up. Like, it was worth one watch. I don't know if I would ever see it again, because I don't know if I find much replay value with it. But at least one time, like I said, I did like the actors. I was intrigued enough with the story, see where it was going. I think it kind of lagged a bit in the middle, waiting for the next shoe to drop, so to speak. Like I said, I wish like Bill Paxton wasn't completely dropped as a character. Coach Tom, Major Tom, yeah, from Control. But Coach Tom, I wish he had a bit more it seemed like he'd be much more... He did become very important at the very end of the film, but I thought like throughout it he'd be more important of a character. But yeah, other nitpicks here and there. Overall, I did like it. Like I said, I think the actors... Susan Tyrrell and Bo Svenson definitely made the movie, at the very least, watchable. And I could appreciate that. So overall, I didn't mind it. Did not mind the film. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.